Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Particle Accelerator, where we talk to future thinking business leaders about how to grow their team and accelerate their business. I'm here today with Richard. Richard, would you please introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Richard, and I'm currently a CEO and founder of a company called AI Republic in Seattle. We are building AI toolbox for small business. Nice to meet you all.
Oh, great. That's awesome. I'm excited to talk about that. Before we get into the nitty gritty, I'd love to get to know you a little bit better. What was your first job? How did you make your first dollar as a human being? For me, I had a paper route when I was a kid. What was it for you?
Thinking about my childhood, I grew up in China, helping my dad to sell their veggies grown from his garden in marketplace. I think that was my first job, and I still remember the feeling of people handle me the paper money of like, oh, the money for the tomato. That was a very exciting moment for a 5-year-old kid.
What was a toy or hobby you had as a kid that's inspired what you do career-wise today?
In my career, always be software engineer. Now I'm a founder of AI company as well. But since when I was young, I'm always fascinated about computer. And of course, China. I grew up in China. Chinese parents always think a computer is a toy, it's affecting your studies. So my parents always limited my time playing computer. But somehow I always like it. I always want to understand how computer can run, how the game was like invented, and I can like so fascinated about everything about computer.
I had a similar childhood. Commodore 64 was my first computing
Oh, okay.
experience. We were trying to see what we could get out of that. In today's, we feel like it was a limiting device, but it was super fascinating and powerful for us.
Yeah, I remember my first computer. I forgot the brand, but I know the operating system is Windows 98. The computer has a very large Energy Star logo. Oh, I'm not sure if you remember, like a lot of
Yep.
computer has that Energy Star like logo there. I remember that, and I was very excited when I was young. I got that computer.
What was your favorite and least favorite course in school?
Oh yeah, I'm a science guy, so I really like all the science, including math, physics, and biology. And I think my least material or subject in when I was young is politics. In China, the education system is a little bit different from the US. Students are required to study politics since from maybe middle school. The reason I don't like it is there are a lot of things I need to memorize to pass the exam. So like I do, I hate just to try to recite the subjects and textbooks. So I always get a very low score.
Yeah, that's super interesting. What quote from a famous person lives in your mind rent free?
Oh, yeah, I'm a Christian. I became a Christian in China. Surprisingly, China still has some religious freedom. So when I grew up, I don't feel anything from like pressure from the government about hindering or suppressing my religion or my family's religion going to church. A lot of things I learned about famous people from the Bible. I'm almost always the one standing out when I read the Bible.
Loving others more than yourself. The golden rule comes from a biblical principle.
Yes.
That's really cool. And then last lightning round question here is what do you think the greatest invention or discovery has been in the past 300 years?
Oh, that's tricky question because a lot of in past 300 years, a lot of invention happened. I think internet or computer is still one of the biggest one. Thinking about how it changed humans' life a lot, right? So it changed every aspects of our life, including life, work, and other like research, how technology can be invented. All because of the computer, everything changed to the direction and the speed.
Cool. Awesome. I'm excited to learn more about your business and what you're accomplishing. What tech
Mhm.
trend has significantly impacted your industry and how has your company responded?
Yeah, my company is doing AI. Of course, AI now catch all the spotlight. And before founding this company, I was a software engineer back in Facebook in AI team. We help developing the AI privacy technology. So using AI to protect the Facebook users' privacy. And we develop a technology called federated learning. I do see AI has a lot of potential that can help a small business to improve daily operations. That's why with this vision and mission, I created my job and founded the company called the Air Republican.
Totally agree. AI is shaping a lot of how, like, what use cases are you seeing most accomplished by your software or by AI in general for those small businesses? I love the small business focus. I feel like AI is pulling lots of people into the market and they feel the need to take advantage of it. Where small businesses, if they had QuickBooks and they had some basic off the shelf software that was good enough to run their small business, what use cases are you seeing most influence?
Good question. I think one of biggest challenge of building AI solutions for small business is small business always their business differ from one to another. Thinking about how, let's say, a restaurant runner different from, let's say, a local, let's say, small clinic. And it's very hard to summarize their common need. But thinking about what the AI is doing the best is the data reorganization. Like AI is very good at helping you to organize business data. We are trying to build a set of tools instead of one tool to help small business to run their like operations. And we are trying to target to, let's say, common workflows. All the small business will face a challenge. And currently, the first tool we are building is trying to apply AI to internal business documentation search. Thinking about small business running has a lot of contract, Google Docs, email content, and chat between clients or chat between the employees. Those information are all scattered, and without the AI, it's very hard for you to just retrieve something. So AI is very good at it for you to just say, "Hey AI, where is my last conversation with my patients? Or like, where is the last conversation with my colleague talking about the financial statement last month?" Such information can be reorganized by AI and be very easy for you to retrieve. That's the first tool we are building, and we are trying to bring more tools. For example, legal compliance AI tool. AI can help you to do a lot of preliminary of the legal work. Of course, you still need a professional lawyer for helping you, but AI can at least help you to do sending out early alert, help you manage some contract, something like this. AI is very good at it. So that's why with this mission, we feel with a platform, you have one place to go and find a different AI tool can help with different aspects of your business operations. That's very ideal for us. Can just help a small business to improve.
Totally agree. I own a software development consultancy. I've been a software engineer like you for most of my career. I started in online advertising. So we had to have good software development, data, and cloud skills. That's the main services we offer. In data engineering, there's this concept of bronze, silver, and gold, this medallion architecture. Bronze is how you bring in all of those different data. You bring it all in and you can still report out of bronze. If you have a phone system and you bring in your phone system logs, you can figure out like how many calls did I get, how many calls got abandoned, how many people did I put on hold and for how long. And so you can still get business value out of bronze, but then in silver, you combine the data into data products. And then, of course, gold is where you would report your compliance data and make decisions out of. What I'm finding with a lot of folks, small businesses included, is they've given ChatGPT to the employees and say, hey, go figure it out. And that to me feels very bronze, where the employee or the small business person is grabbing data from maybe a call recorder or they're pulling in a spreadsheet. And then they have to take that and put it into the presentation document or email to send to the customer. They're doing all the orchestration. And sounds like what you're doing is you're helping people move from bronze to silver. Your tool is providing what I call these silver level automations that's combining the data with the prompt, with the action. And I guess to form that as a question, I'm still finding it very immature to take the actions, to write the emails or to prepare the PowerPoint presentations. It's very fractured to get results and then take actions on that. What are you seeing evolve in what I would call the action space? How are you seeing people take action on what the AI is producing?
It's related to about how you treat AI. So I think now AI causes a lot of panic about people's job. Oh, I'm afraid of my job. I'm a software engineer, and a lot of, say, people from Google, people from OpenAI, in 3 years, software engineer job will disappear. Yeah, we do see a trend of AI smarter and smarter, that's for sure. But based on my experience, or my interaction with AI inside of Facebook, that I always treat AI as a tool. AI doesn't have any social identity. You shouldn't treat AI as your coworker coming into the company, competing with you, take away your jobs. Instead, you should adopt AI as a tool to boost your productivity. You should think of, you spend a lot of time without AI, you spend a lot of time in a lot of repetitive work, and that you can move forward or move up level. With AI, you have capability to do that. Behind the AI, there are always people, and always you are the final one to make a decision and to organize things produced by AI, to assemble everything together and make things so human is the center of all the ideal. At least from my perspective, AI is not replacing anyone's job. But as I said, for small business, it's very hard to hire professional people to, like, always like, you don't have enough resource to hire professional and extend your accounting team, or let's say financial team or HR team, to support your business. There's a logic behind the AI Republic is we are not trying to replace any human's job. But let's say if a small business understaffed, and with AI's help, you can make your, let's say, business extend or move forward with fewer people, with a high efficient workway with AI support.
What are some other technology innovations that you're betting on to drive your business growth?
AI now is a very broad idea. And under this concept, there are a lot of small innovations we still need to deal with. For example, hallucination, that's the real thing. And if you apply such AI into, let's say, finance or into, let's say, compliance work, of course, now a lot of startup, including AI Republic, is doing such work in research and experiment already. But there's still legal risk if AI confidently give you a wrong answer while you don't notice, and you will bring some legal risk into your business. So we still need to deal with a lot of challenge in AI. Another challenge for AI is legal risk or privacy risk. So I think the government or the country need to law to regulate what AI should do, can do, or shouldn't do to protect people. AI is a tool. I never give AI, my personal knowledge, I never give AI social identity at all, though. But tool sometimes is dangerous. So we should always stand in humans' like, way of seeing if AI developed, how human can be protected. Privacy, security, a lot of different ways. We should have this regulation to put us, human, into center, while AI treat AI as a tool.
I'm always a little bit skeptical of regulation. Reason being is that I feel like it benefits the incumbent. As we see, there used to be many telecom companies, and then regulation got involved. Now we only have 4 or 5 major telecom companies in the US. I feel like you will see Anthropic and OpenAI, they'll ask for regulation based on their current capabilities, and then it'll be much harder for other people to create new LLMs because they'll have to comply with those regulations. I feel like it's really early for that, but what you're saying is still true. We are responsible for the output that we take from AI. The famous case of the lawyer using it to write his argument.
Yeah.
And then his argument was quoting fake case law. And the lawyer ended up getting disbarred. So we have to be responsible for the output that we share. And then the other point you're making is AI is not a human will hold you accountable. They'll say, if you ask AI, is it better for me to eat Taco Bell or I'm Texan, so Whataburger? And you're asking it two unhealthy choices, and it will give you some answer of which one is more healthy.
Yeah.
It won't tell you that your question is flawed. Like
Yep.
you're asking me two very unhealthy choices. Try again because neither of these are healthy. It just won't do that.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be told that the question itself is wrong, whereas humans will do that. Humans have common sense and will tell you. And so, yeah, there's still a lot of responsibility. And how are you guys facing that in your application? What kind of safeguards or narrowing is implied with some of the problems that you're solving?
Yeah, we are very early stage as a startup. AI development is still in very early stage as well. Now, of course, ChatGPT or any other Gen AI models is very powerful, but thinking about how much it can affect your work or life is still limited. AI's potential is not wholly developed yet. So everything is in very early stage, including our company. We need to evolve together with the whole industry and together with regulators as well. And go back to your last question, you ask about what invention you are surprised or I'm surprised or we think it should affect the industry. I feel the regulation should be innovative as well. Regulating AI is very challenging work. So post AI age, we should have very innovative way of how regulation should be processed and should have a way to encourage AI development and protect consumers. Always put the human in the center of the position.
Do you have an example of a regulation that would help the situation?
That's a very good question. I do see one trend of people start to talk about this, and including OpenAI or those big companies, they call out to say the government should have such regulation. I think that such discussion at least is a good starting.
What do you think the gaps are between your ambitions and the realities of today? If you could wave a wand and have something be there that's not there today that would directly translate to more results in your business, what would that be?
Yeah, there are a big gap. That's how AI Republic's mission is. Technology seems ready, but adoption is still low, and the gap is still there. Let's say we do have such technology. For example, Perplexity can make AI apply to search, right? But of course, Perplexity is aiming to doing the like general search, like a Google engine, AI version of Google engine. And we do have a tool to do internal business documentation search engine. People still concerned about, let's say, adopting it, or like people are adopting how effective it or how improvement it can bring to a business operation. So I think a lot of such small things are still on there stopping AI, like people's concern, people's doubt or thinking or people's kind of ignoring of AI. I think that gap cannot be resolved by technology. And I hope with people's more realizing of treating AI as a tool instead of a threat, I think people will be more open to owning this tool instead of once this tool adopt, it will destroy me. I think it take times. Yeah.
I heard a statistic. We do a lot of enterprise application modernization. So we love replacing the world's legacy technology. I heard a stat a couple weeks ago that there are still over 200,000 applications running
Mm,
in AS400. AS400 being this legacy mainframe system
yeah.
that is somewhat isolated from the internet and the real world, right? And so we still have so much data and
Mm,
so much information that's isolated from the internet, which may be good for some businesses, but also when you are a corporation and you want to bring in AI solutions to do more and your data is isolated from your people stuck in this legacy environment.
yeah.
And so I still think we're really far behind. Many businesses have not even caught up to the previous trends. And so now they have to take almost 2 or 3 generational leaps to get into a place where they can benefit from the latest cloud technology and AI and truly know their data. Certainly, the government is feeling this as they're looking into social security payments and all of this that, well, that data was there. We just had to dig into these legacy systems and surface it so that we could do a better job. And I wonder how many businesses are still feeling that way. On the small business layer, they can make those lead much quicker than some of these large enterprise companies. We consulted with a business a couple months ago that was running critical systems in access databases, like circa 2018. I think AI is going to drive in such a greater, more influential way, but that generational gap is getting so much wider. How they'll capitalize on it is still to be determined.
Yeah, and another part for the adoption among small business is pricing is always more sensitive. Lowering the price is another mission we are trying to achieve. When people talk about innovation or invention, people always talk about that have new features. Always talk about, oh, let's just make some breakthrough, build some tool people like which other never realized or never built before. But people don't realize if you can lower the price of the existing tool, that's another big invention, another big innovation as well. So that's this one part that we focus on of trying to lowering your bar and the pricing of onboarding into using AI tools. And we are doing different experiments, testing different models of performance, and trying to find the most money efficient way to use AI. That's one part of our job, AI Republic's job, to help small business adopting.
What do you think the biggest challenge to maintaining your competitive edge in this AI space? A lot of people coming in wanting to capitalize on the small business audience. How do you see maintaining that competitive edge?
Good question. I have to say the competition is very heated. Let's say now a lot of AI startups building all different sorts of AI solutions for, let's say, different clients. Joining the competition as a startup is challenging for me personally, like building my company and then competing with others. We need to run fast enough to make us survive. But in other ways, thinking about as a whole, AI Republic joining with other AI startups, we have a competition and we just move fast to bring the technology available to all different aspects of the industries. I think it's a beneficial thing. Even though we are standing here to compete with other AI startups, thinking about how AI can bring the benefit and how big the market is, I think we are still optimistic about what the AI Republic's future will look like.
How do you approach risk when you're implementing a cutting edge technology? And how are you helping the small businesses to manage risk? This question may pull you more into your strategy as a founder and making good investments in cutting edge technology. For example, you said that you saw many suites of tools. How did you pick that first one of document indexing the company data and making a really good corporate search tool?
Yeah.
There's an opportunity risk there because you're going to focus on that one as the first, and you've set aside some of the other ambitions temporarily. How do you
Yep.
approach risk when implementing a new technology?
If you are a big tech, for example, in Facebook, Facebook can explore different direction at the same time. Startup really don't have energy or resource to do that. So we only can pick out the best valuable thing we can do. And the first tool we build, why we prioritize this documentation organization is me and another team member had enough interaction with. We just targeted to help a small business adopt AI easier and faster. So we reach out to a lot of potential Seattle local small business to ask their main pain point. We summarize what they need the most. And that's how we just end up picking this tool as first one to build. Of course, let's say startup is challenging because when you see the opportunity, if you don't run fast enough, big giant coming in to join the competition with you, you will die fast as well. So a lot of uncertainty involved. I think one thing founder needed to be prepared is embrace uncertainty. You don't know the future. You don't know tomorrow if Google will step in to build the same tool or not. At least at the current moment, you should move forward as fast as you can to build out what you already planned for.
So I love that. So you're saying you're definitely talking to users. You know that
Yeah,
there is a buyer.
exactly.
Your analysis of risk should not prevent you from taking the risk.
Yeah,
You talk to the users, you know there's a need, you move quickly towards the need.
yeah.
I think that's great. I think that the idea of stepping back enough to make sure that there is a target market for what you're doing and then just try to get there before anybody else. That's a great answer. Cool. I love to hear from founders how they really think about their roadmap and their overall business strategy. Do you have any advice? Are you guys trying any tools, OKRs, EOS? When it comes to determining your roadmap and your overall business strategy, do you have any tips or philosophy there?
We don't have too much, let's say, methodology or method of, let's say, we should do this, we should do that. I think a startup, it should be very flexible, but we do have quarterly planning. We plan our work every quarter. Now we are in the middle of the Q2, so we have our OKR to finish by end of June and trying to, let's say, push everybody. We currently have, including myself, I'm the founder, but I do the actual coding as well. And we have two other software engineer full time and one intern joining the team. I push them to the edge of fully develop their potential to help finish the end of the, let's say, the quota or end of the OKR. That's the only thing we can control. Speaking of the competition, we do see such, let's say, eternal data AI search tool. There are some big players here already. I'm not sure if you heard of a company called Glean. They are doing similar work, but that tool, we do experiment on top of their platform. One hand, they are not accurate, so a lot of improvement space still needed, either from themselves or we are replacing them. And another part is they are very pricey for small business to use. So I think we want to build a much, let's say, lower price while high quality for small business to search that data and automatically help them to organize data. Based on that, we are trying to build more AI agents to help, let's say, small business different aspects, including financial automation, HR automation, and let's say marketing. They are all necessary. Those two agents are scattered among different providers and different AI startups are building different aspects of vertical tools. While we as a toolbox want to integrate either third party or build the agents in-house, at least we provide one place to go for small business to utilize AI. That's our goal. So we do have, let's say, roadmap or way, but only one goal or one principle behind this help us move as fast as we can. I think move fast is more important than anything else.
Yeah, that makes sense. We've automated the majority of our recruiting process. So we use
Oh,
AI
wow.
to analyze resumes, we send out assessments, and once we have a lot of data on the applicant, only then do we do the human interviews.
That's a cool idea. Yeah.
We have staff all over the globe, and in foreign markets, you get a lot of applicants. You can get 500 applicants a week once you secure your job posting. Just processing through all of those is not something we can afford to do with human intervention, just reading resumes one by one. So we needed some AI assistance to at least
Yeah.
score the resume
Yeah.
and whether the resume matches to the job description. And then we use some AI based assessment tools to make sure they can do the work that we want to interview them for. Then the interview, of course, with a human is detailed. What I've also found is a lot of folks are using AI in the interview process, change the way we ask questions because we have to ask for a story or a personal experience rather than how would you approach this particular technical problem. What we find that some candidates are doing is they're running ChatGPT in the background and then they're reading the
Yeah.
answer from ChatGPT. So if you ask them a technical question, they're going to read a perfect answer. But if you ask them to share their experience, to tell you a story, there's so much more authenticity to getting to know them and interviewing them. And so we've had to shift that. What's a story you could share about something you learned from failure, like a failed technology initiative or some kind of hard lesson learned?
Yeah, about those cheating in the interview, I have a very funny experience. Last month, I met a startup team in Seattle. They noticed this issue. They are building an anti-cheating AI tool. Like detect your cheating on like behind the screen. They try to detect everything using AI. It was fun. AI, as I mentioned, is a tool. So people can use the tool in good way. People can use the tool in bad way. Speaking of failure, I think one lesson I learned from Facebook is big tech, as I mentioned, the big tech company has resource to, let's say, explore different technology direction at the same time, doesn't matter if it failed or not, as long as one way can go make sense, the other sacrifice is worthy. Think unfortunately, my technology is kind of standing on a place. I wouldn't say it's a failure, but it is not fitting the market well. Federated learning is a very cool technology. We are trying to make the model training on your device, either in iOS platform, Android platform, or Meta's Oculus platform. Make a model as small as possible, living in your device. It's like an AI copy in your device. Sounds cool, very like advanced technology. While when we trying to adopt it into the market, a lot of realistic problem happened. One thing is those model or those AI drain your battery. Cell phone's battery life a lot. So a lot of people
Mm.
chose to disable it to try to save the energy. So we spend a lot of time to resolve this, but still biggest challenge of people using it. So I kind of feel the failure lesson learning from the failure is at least, let's say, bigger tech company can still do this kind of, let's say, technology exploration. But at least for startups, you don't have resource, as I mentioned, you don't have resource to try and fail. So go to the market as early stage as possible to be with your potential clients, know their real need, and then build the technology to satisfy what they are looking for. I think that's more important than I have a cool technology and then I find a market to fit it in for startup. But the scenario is not good for fitting the big company. Big company should still do the exploration while startup should be more how to make yourself survive.
I had a guest a few months back that had gotten 18 months into trying to develop a cutover power source. So, like A power and B power, they were trying to store enough power to streamline the transition. So, their device was both an energy pass through and an energy storage. They realized 18 months in that they were trying to solve a problem that violated physics. At 18 months in, they
Mm,
found a paper that was
mm,
20 years old that described why the physics they were trying to break. Had they done just a little more research into
uh-huh.
the actual science behind what they were trying to do, they would have avoided a huge loss.
Yeah,
In the startup world, that's, hey, user, what do you want? And what you're describing there is don't let the fanciness of a solution that could both store power and pass it through pull you away from the actual need, like the
yeah.
problem that you're actually trying to solve.
Of course, a lot of startup like building deep tech is another different story. Of course, they have a even longer time to just find where the technology can fit the market. But I feel we still, even though like you build a future technology, for example, like nuclear fusion technology, now a lot of startup, China, US, joining the competition, trying to build the future for the future. I'm very interested in this technology as well. But I feel even for future technology, you should have the mindset of what's the first step my technology can be applied? What's the first batch of the market clients can use my technology? I think with this mindset, you have more clear direction of how you want to build even a deep tech technology. I think for startups, we should have this mindset.
Yeah, that's great. How do you, being a startup founder, cultivate a culture of innovation within your team as you continue forward? Your team's going to grow. What's something you could share around how you think of innovation in your culture?
Yeah, we hope such culture can grow out. So we are currently the AI application layer. So we don't do the, let's say, fundamental model training. We don't stand in a point of need to invent some new fancy technology other people don't have yet. We are not into that edge yet. But I feel innovation should always, let's say, live in any company's gene. For us, I think the biggest innovation we currently are doing is trying to, let's say, find a way to apply existing technology to feed into, let's say, small business daily operation better. Such kind of business model or such kind of, let's say, adoption innovation is good enough for us to achieve. Yeah. innovation is necessary, but not only new technologies, improvements, lower the cost, making it easier to use all those different aspects of the work is innovation as well.
You mentioned that you're a Christian. I am too. How do you think faith plays into how you apply yourself as a professional? Where do you see that collision between your faith and your business? How does your faith influence how you are as a founder and as an innovator?
Yeah, that's a very interesting topic. I'm on my way to resolve a lot of conflict feelings. According to Bible or according to our faith, we shouldn't like just pay attention too much to money, like to pay attention to chase after money. We shouldn't serve both God and money. But I think one thing, let's say, as a Christian, all the teaching how to live your life, the teaching is in Bible already. So Bible never stop a person to do business or working hard. On the contrary,
Right.
Bible do encourage people to, let's say, you should work hard and you should be, let's say, among people, taking care of each other. I think all your, let's say, what you learn from the faith can be applied to when you run a business. And the way we treat running a business is no longer I want to make as much money as possible. But on the other side, I think that the way we can treat as a running a business is applying what you learn from Bible to your life. You work hard, you work wisely, you're taking care of people. Let's say build a company is all about taking care of people, taking care of your employee, taking care of your clients, right? I think those principles are all hiding behind the Bible already. I think running business is a good way to practice Bible out.
Yeah, I totally agree. I even think of when you're in the STEM field, if you look at even first book of the Bible, Genesis, what God is doing is he's creating very complex systems.
Yeah,
He's making order from chaos, right? He's ordering the universe.
yeah,
I feel like when we're building a complex system, we're glorifying God in our ordering of chaos. You get the awesome privilege to help small businesses order their chaos, find all their
exactly.
imperfection. There's something so very purposeful about
Yeah,
that, right?
yeah,
When I'm helping a business organize things and I'm doing it with care, concern, and pride of work, doing my work under the Lord, there's a lot of purpose in that. Whether that business is trying to provide energy for people, better healthcare, or better services, there's so much purpose in creating order and
yeah,
organizing things. And in software,
exactly.
we're naming everything and bringing so much sense to a bunch of chaos and allowing them to do more with less. I think there's a
Yeah,
lot of purpose in that. And I
yeah,
think that could
yeah.
be very glorifying to our creator to imitate him in that way.
Exactly. I 100% agree with what you said.
If people like what you've had to share today, how would you like them to connect with you?
Oh yeah, we have website called airepublic.com. Even you can Google AI Republic and the first like item you search out is our website. I'm very proud of that. We do a very good job of optimizing our homepage. Yeah, search us in Google or find us in LinkedIn as well. And also we do want to extend our clients as well. And of course, our product is in early stage, but we would like to hear your voice of what we can do to help you easier to search, organize your internal data, and in the future we have more tool integrated into our platform to help you other aspects of the business operation as well. But welcome to build early relationship with us, and we are here to serve you.
I appreciate you being here. Thank you for taking the time just today
Yeah,
and excited to see what AI Republic does in the market and
yeah,
just really wish you success in your journey here as a founder.
yeah. Thank you.
Awesome.
All right. Take care.